Hi again, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and it's great to have you all here. My name is Orkun, Customer Success Manager of 3D Talo Finland, and I will be your host and speaker today. And we have our Sales Director, Mitri, as the main speaker. Hello, Mitri.
Hello, and welcome also from my behalf to all.
So before we start, kindly reminding to check if your microphones are muted to avoid the noise clash. And in the end of the session, we will have a QA session. But whenever you have questions, please type it in the chat box so we can go through them later on. And also, I would like to remind you that this session is going to be recorded. So today, we have gathered to discuss about how businesses train employees nowadays and how virtual reality is bringing a new face to the way that we train our people. Technology obviously is changing the ways we live constantly, and it surely takes time to adapt to these new changes. It is actually harder to adapt to these changes when they're happening on our professional lives. But already many companies have adapted more efficient way of implementing training programs. And this is exactly what today we are going to show you, how to build a virtual training program in any industry in 3 main stages. And firstly, we would like to cover what is the current situation and move forward from there. So, Mitri, could you tell us what is the industry's current situation in the training world? And maybe what should we be looking forward to, please?
Yes, I will. Thank you, Orkun, for the good introduction at the beginning. I would like to say that last time when we had a webinar about virtual assisted orientation and ability assessment, I started my speech telling that we are really excited about these new innovation and products that we have developed. And after 2 months, I can say that I am even more excited at the moment. And the reason for that is in this quite short period of time, we have started multiple new projects with our customers where they can utilize virtual assisted orientation and training programs, and we can already see really good results from our customers. Mm-hmm. But the current state of industry, we can see here in a chart that when we are talking about and using the term traditional training and orientation models and methods, we are in most cases speaking about manuals, videos, classroom, which is really like a basic way of providing orientation to employees. And we are speaking about on-the-job and one-to-one mentorship. And manuals are really great for reading and writing learning types. Videos are really great for visual learning types, and classes are really great for oral learning types. And the learning type is one thing that we like to mention when we talk about immersive learning, and also the challenges of current industry, current training methods in companies, because that's something that we need to take in consideration when we are talking about training. So in this few months or even longer time, when we have talked with our customer and had a really great conversation, the current state, as we have learned, is that the most of the companies are balancing between 2 different concerns or challenges. The first one is how to make sure that the quality of training is good enough so employees can know how to work safely and efficiently. But the second challenge, which they are balancing on, is that at the same time, resources are in most cases really tight in the companies. So to sum it up, the current situation and the challenge that we have seen companies are balancing in is how to provide the great quality with limited resources. at the moment. And also this COVID time has brought a lot of, I wouldn't say challenges, but a new angle when they are like providing or inventing or developing their training strategies and training methods. So like I said, how to provide the most efficient way, and also how to provide the efficient orientation and training with limited resources. So we call these two variables, we call those scalability and effectiveness. And as you can see from here, for example, manuals and videos are really scalable, and one-to-one mentorship and on the job is really effective. But luckily, at the moment, not in future, but at the moment, we call it, we are riding in a wave of change. And the name of that wave is immersive learning. Because immersive learning is a really great tool where you can combine the benefits from the traditional training methods. And we can really see those benefits right now at the moment with our customers. So what are the benefits and how we compare the traditional training and immersive learning? As I mentioned, the traditional ways are like videos, manuals, a classroom, for example. And in traditional learning, the learning is quite passive. You are sitting in a, for example, in a classroom, and the one who is giving that orientation or training to you is teaching you. So that's a quite passive way to learn new ways of work or safety or whatever they are teaching at the moment. Mm-hmm. And the immersive way is really engaging, and I think that's the biggest value in immersive learning. We can really give the employees or the applicants, we can really give an experience rather than teaching session to them. So engaging is one of the biggest benefits in immersive learning. And also in traditional training, you learn by watching or hearing when you are in a classroom or on site, trying to learn the new job of you. But in immersive learning, from the first stages of orientation or training, you can really do it. So you learn by doing. And that's also a really good benefit of immersive learning. Traditional learning or training can also be really forgettable. And when you are really doing it, you can have the experience rather than just someone is telling to you. It's more memorable. So that's also a good example of benefits of immersive learning. It's also related to save time and money also when you are inventing or implementing new training methods to your company. In traditional training, if you're in a classroom, it can take up to 8 hours to teach all the necessary parts of the training program. But when you are using immersive learning, you are using your multiple senses, you are really engaging the new employees or the applicants to that content what you are providing them. It can you can reduce the time from hours to minutes. For example, in Walmart, where they have been using virtual reality in training for years, they say that originally they used, for example, 8 hours to teach new employees how to use their new pickup towers. And it can take up to several weeks, go through all the employees and make sure that all the employees know how to use that pickup tower. And nowadays, when they use virtual reality assistant training and orientation, they can save up to 98% of time because it's only minutes what they need to spend in the training session. Yeah. And last but not least, in traditional training, it's more related to basic data, and in immersive learning, it's actionable insights. So when it's more experience than someone is telling or teaching you, when it's more experience, you will get more out of it, and it like changes the way how your brains work and how you how you learn the content of that training program. So these are the biggest benefits of immersive learning that we have found and related to researches and also the good examples from different countries.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Dmitry, for that. It's obvious that like listening or watching and learning things by doing that is different than actually doing the things and learning that. So it's very important, like we can understand that learning is one of the most critical elements of the employee experience. And as the workplace changes, new skills are needed to succeed, and the importance of learning to the overall business economy continues to grow each and every year. And especially since COVID has came into our lives, employers have encountered unique challenges that they have never faced before. So it's a new era actually for everyone. And at this point, employers are facing a dilemma. Their workforce needs to learn new skills and upgrade their existing capabilities, but they might not be able to do so in person given the current environment. Yet, the training is especially important now, and it may become even more critical when workers start returning to a changed workplace. So, how can employers deal with this challenge, actually? And it is exactly at this point that virtual training programs offer what many businesses need. They are scalable, as Dmitry explained, and they can be repeated as many times as needed without requiring any extra human workforce. And they are efficient, as setting up and executing the training takes almost 4 times less time than the traditional trainings. And what is actually even better is that immersive learning targets all the learning types. So some people tend to learn better when they read, some when they watch, and some when they just practice. With virtual training programs, we are covering all the learning needs and making sure that the employee will actually adapt the necessary skill in a good amount of time. So, what are the 3 stages of building a virtual training program? Let's have a look at them. The first one is what we call evaluation. So, through various projects that we have partnered with our clients until now, we have experienced that understanding the business workflow and the current situation allows us to establish a well-rounded and a successful training program. That's why the first step of building a training program is the evaluation part. And in practice, it means through efficient communication and by asking the right questions, we gather up data on what is the current training methods in a company and what are the bottlenecks in the current system and what are the employees' learning needs, actual learning needs. So this allows us already to understand and get initial sparks of the training program that we are going to set up for them. And as I mentioned before, understanding the current system and the practical needs is crucial going into the other stages, next stages. On the evaluation stage, getting feedback from different teams of a business is also very beneficial. So we don't only ask the perspective of the company leaders, but also people who are actually involved actively in the training sessions with the employees, like so to say, the trainers. And when we finally have satisfying data on the current situation, we move on to the next stage, and that is the brainstorming part. At this stage, we start building up ideas on what kind of an immersive training would be beneficial for the business. So to give an example, would it be fully in the virtual reality world, or do we need to implement a system where we use a desktop browser version combined with virtual reality activities. So it's fully customizable, and it's one of the strongest part of these programs. So the training program's content can go as far as your mind can imagine. It's fully customizable, like I said. And also on this stage, we keep gathering as much feedback from our clients and their ideas of how they want their training program to work. And by the end of this stage too, we usually have a couple of module ideas that we discuss with our clients. We present them, what could it look like, and then agree on a final idea before we start creating the program. And one thing that I forgot to mention is we also receive employee feedback. So the people who are actually going to be trained, we ask them and they tell us what are the current things that they don't like on the trainings that they receive and how would they like to learn new things. And this part definitely enables us to think from their perspective if we are missing something. And from here on, we move to the next stage, which is the content creation. So when the brainstorming sessions are done, we actually start creating the training content. And here, our internal communication between the project leaders, like the idea owners and the technical team, is the critical part. As our technical team keeps developing the content, we communicate and improve it further constantly. And before the program is completed, it's again very important for us to show it to our clients and learn what they think. So we figured out a way of doing this, and we usually build an initial version of how the training is going to look and discuss over it with our customers, so they can at least understand what's going to happen in the training program. And at that point, they can give us again feedback to fix the things that they don't like to see. Sorry. And we move forward from them to finalize the training program. So these are the three main stages of building a virtual training program in theory. But Dmitry, could you possibly give us some actual project examples that we have done with our clients previously?
Yes, of course. And I would like to a little bit sum up the great speech of you with the three different stages of building virtual training programs. The mindset should go, from our point of view, in a way that only the imagination is the limit, what kind of training sessions or training content we can provide using virtual reality. And it's always good to remember that like the engaging and the experience are the biggest benefits here. For example, if, because like I'm going to mention the different projects that we have built to our customers, it's good to remember that it's not only like doing with your hands something, assembling something. It can be soft skills, it can be in a factory line, it can be facing a challenging customer situation in grocery store or something like that. So only the imagination is kind of the limit here. And we have the technical, and the technology has been ready for years. So now be open-minded and try to find the challenges in the training like process. And if someone has challenges in the training process or feels like that there is an inefficient training methods at the moment, I would suggest that it's great to contact us and have a conversation with us so we can give the ideas in that.
Yeah, it is actually, Mitra, you're right. It's probably a bit hard to see without looking at it, because we are used to the ways that we train employees or we are getting trained. So we might not realize how inefficient it might be without looking at it, without putting our eyes on it. So you're definitely right on that.
Yeah, and that's the reason why evaluation is really like a crucial part here.
Yeah.
Okay, but the customer success stories or the good examples. First, we will start with Vemmatel, and some of our attendees might know about this case from our first webinar, but we think this is a really good example of how to combine the ability assessment and the orientation in same package. And Vemmatel is an electric company based in Finland, and they are hiring multiple antenna workers yearly. And the traditional way was, in the first job interview, they asked the question that, are you capable to climb up to 92 meters high antenna? And most of the applicants said that that's not a problem, that's why I'm here. And in traditional way, the next step was go on site, give the safety instruction and really test it. How does it feel to climb to that high? But with this, our virtual tools, they combined the ability assessment, which they use in the first job interview. They asked that, are you capable to climb the height? And the applicant said yes. So they took the VR glasses to table and said that, okay, let's test it. And the applicant put the glasses on, and it's not just a video where you can see how it goes. It's engaging and immersive because you really do it. You need to move your hands so you climb higher and higher. You can feel the wind, you can feel that the antenna is shaking. And I had to admit that I tested this, and I can say with 100% sure that I'm not capable to climb to 92 meters high antenna. So they tested this with the applicants and also included the safety orientation there. So when the applicants was approved from the first virtual test, they took the applicants to site or the new employees. But the good part here is that we also provided with this virtual tool the basic safety orientation to them. So they saved time on site because they didn't need to go through the very basics of safety training, what is included when they are climbing that high antenna. Mm-hmm. And they have used this in over 90 job interviews at the moment. They are saving time in the orientation part, and we would think that this, in a way, that this is a really good tool also for the applicant side, because they can test it, and if they feel that they can't climb that high, they can end the process in that moment or that stage. They don't need to go further from that and go really on site. And we are really following this project with the great enthusiasm, and I also added the one LinkedIn post here from the Vemmatel side where we can see that it has been really useful for them. Okay, this is one good example, and the second one, like I mentioned previously, that we can provide, and the imagination is only the limit here. In most of cases, we are talking about soft skills, and is it hard skills? I don't know, but you got the point where you really be in the assembling line and doing something with your hands. But this is a great example of the soft skills. So PSA is locally known here in North Savo, employer of over 1,700 employees. And with the whole PSA group, their goal is to provide the best customer experience of that industry, grocery stores, and to understand what is the best experience, how the customer feel their process that they are doing right now. PSA wanted that also the employees can see their current process from the customer perspective. Mm-hmm. And for that, we built or set up a pilot where we built this customer experience training program using virtual reality for them. And it is like a story when customer comes into the grocery store, in this case Prisma in Kuopio. when the customer walks into that store, what does it look like from the customer point of view? And if there is an employee of PS filling up the shelves and like not like looking at the customer or providing help to customer, how does it feel from the customer perspective? And this is a really good example, and we built this story to PS, and they are currently starting to test it and pilot it in Kuopio, Prisma, and like this is we and the customer think that this is a great solution for improving the customer experience training in their grocery stores.
Yeah, so this actually can be implemented in any workplace where employees are facing customers when they are communicating with customers.
Yes, and one thing I forgot to say is that it's not only for how things go well. We also included to this training program how to prepare the employees face challenging situations with the customer. That's also important part, because if there's a new employee and he or she hasn't like faced that kind of situation, for example, an angry customer, if the new employee hasn't faced that kind of situation, the first time when it really happens can be really stressful. So
Yeah,
we
exactly.
wanted to prepare the new employees so we can provide that experience using virtual reality, even that happens in real life.
Yeah, like experiencing a stressful situation, of course, next time you would have a similar situation, you will feel more confident on behaving the correct way, obviously. So it's great that you mentioned that.
Yes, that is. And the third example, it's a bit different. As you can see, there is our logo in the customer part here. It's related to, we call it Virtual Assisted Orientation, or WOW Sales Edition. And this actually, the original idea came from one of our customer, and they are hiring a lot of new salespeople to their sales teams, and most of the customers are, or doesn't have, they don't have the experience of B2B or B2C sales. And as all of the people who have been related to sales know that the first time when you pick up the phone and call the customer, new customer, or in the B2C sales, when you are first time interacting the customer, for example, in a stand and interrupting the customer, it can be quite stressful, and in many times the experience can be quite bad from the both sides.
Yeah.
And the sales training program, the whole idea is that we can provide the experience of facing different kind of customers in different kind of situations to new salespeople before they even start the job. This training program is currently at the development stage, and I'm happy that I can say that we are developing this sales edition currently with multiple companies, and we also have multiple experts of sales developing this B2B and B2C sales training programs at the moment. And the main goal for this, of course, is to improve the success of the sales teams and improve different stages of the sales operations. And in this part, I would like to mention that if someone here is interested or knows that someone is interested on developing sales using the immersive learning way, we are currently looking for 1 to 2 experts or companies with us to develop this product. So in future, I hope in the spring we can publish it and say that we have the best immersive sales training program to use to improve the sales team's operations.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dmitry. for the examples. And I think with these project examples now, we can get a clearer vision of what is a virtual training program and how it works actually in practice. Thanks. So to summarize, virtual training programs are not a new thing anymore. Many organizations have adopted it, especially in the US market and some of the European markets. And here in Finland, we are actively implementing it with many clients at the same time. So if you want to learn more, like Mitri said, you can always contact us to exchange some ideas on it and actually book meetings with us. So that was it from the presentation side, but now we have a couple of more minutes for questions. I need to check the chat now if we have any questions.
And when you are checking that, I would like to mention that, like we just told, that the 3 stages of building virtual training, it starts with the evaluation part. And if your company is interested on developing the training, I believe that the context can be just that we want to develop our training, and we are not sure that is this virtual assisted training methods, are these suitable for our company. Even in that case, we would like to have a discussion and give our examples and ideas. And actually the evaluation part, where we go through the current trainings and what's the current state and what are the stages that need to be improved. The evaluations stage is always free for our customer. So yeah. If that's something people here want to do, develop the training methods, please contact us and we can give more ideas and have a great conversation of this topic.
Yeah, actually, we all are quite active on LinkedIn as well, so you just can connect us and send us a message if you want to learn more about it. And then we see if there are ways to improve the training methods in your business or in the area that you work. But yeah,
actually, there is no question. So if it's okay, I would like to ask a question from you, Orkun.
Okay, yeah, sure.
We have been talking about and said that we think that this is quite easy to understand what is virtual training and what are the benefits. And we have been covering quite well, I think I can say, the benefits part here. But would you like to tell more us what is the real technology behind this? How we are, when we are having a virtual training session, we are using the VR goggles at the moment. So would you like to go through, like, shortly, how companies can really use it when the training program in virtual reality is ready? What are the
stages from there? Yeah, I can quickly summarize like what a basic training program would look like for the users. So we already mentioned that firstly we need to create the content. So depending on the needs of the company, we collect the visual environments of the company. Let's say S-market, like the example that you gave, the environment of the market is collected by our laser scanning machines, so that we can create actually a very real life realistic environment firstly. And then through that environment, we build our training content. And when the employees, they put the VR glasses on, they are going to be able to really feel like that they are working there and there's a customer coming in and asking some questions and making the pressure on them, like it would happen in real life. And because you have the VR glasses on your head, there is nothing that can take your focus away. Like in a normal training scenario, when you're reading or watching a video, your phone might ring and you might get a notification and your focus might shift from the training to another thing. But when you have those VR glasses, it's like your only vision is that training environment. So you also emotionally start to connect with the environment and learn much more efficiently during that. Yeah, I think that's the practical way how it works, right?
Yes, that's true. And I actually have one VR glasses here. So to sum up it, we will build, for example, the best customer experience training, virtual training, and we will put it actually inside the glasses. So the one thing that employee needs to do before he or she starts the training is take the glasses, put the glasses on like this, and put the power on, and then the training program starts. So it's really easy to use. This is a modern technology, obviously, when we are talking about virtual reality, but no one needs to be scared of it. It's really easy to use, and it's really like portable way of providing training, because what you need is the VR glasses at the moment. You don't need the computer, you don't need the wires, you just put the power on the glasses and you can start the training program. For example, if we bring and provide the training to the classes and take the VR glasses to the coffee room of the company, and from my experience, I can say that quite many of us are interested what is virtual reality if we haven't experienced it.
Yeah, so, it's much more fun. Like if I'm getting a training from a written material, it might be quite boring, but yeah.
So basically, like accidentally, the employees start a training program because they are interested what is the experience of virtual reality. And that's also one good example.
Great. All right. I think we still don't have any questions. And that was it for today then. And thank you again for everyone joining us here. And remember that every month we have a new webinar covering a different topic. This month it was about the virtual assisted training programs. But next month we don't even know ourselves, but something very technological for sure and interesting. So maybe see you in the next one as well. Thank you.
And all the previous webinars can be found on our YouTube channel or in LinkedIn.
True. But thank you everyone for your time. See you on the next one.
Thank you.